Hi there, this is Mrs. Spray, and today I'm going to be going over Unit 1, Lesson 3, Linear Growth. The first few things I have to go over is some basic vocabulary, and then after we go over some vocabulary, I'm going to do some sample problems. By watching this short recording, you should be able to get through Unit 1, Lesson 3 without needing any additional help. So the first things we want to talk about, interest. Interest is money that is earned from lending. It's also money that is paid on an amount borrowed. Simple interest is calculated once per year on the original principal amount. The principal is the original amount invested. So the formula, I equals PRT, where I is the interest earned, P is the principal, R is the interest rate, and T is the number of years. Remember, T must always be in years. This cannot be in months. If it is ever out of months, you have to make it a fraction. So when simple interest is applied, the account balance increases by a constant amount each year. Therefore, this graph is linear. Simple interest can also be calculated for a partial year. So in these cases, T is going to be a fraction, and that's because you're going to change your month into that fraction. So if it's 7 months, you'll do 7 over 12. The interest formula, A equals PRT plus P, is related to the slope interest form of a line, where it's Y equals MX plus B, in that the principal is equal to the Y-intercept, and the principal times the interest rate is the slope. Changes in principal will affect the slope in the Y-intercept. Changes in the interest rate only affect the slope. So let's look at some of these questions. So for question number 1, it says Dom deposits $2,750 in a savings account that pays 3.5% annual interest. To find the account balance after 6 months, Dom can use T equals 0.5. So what I'm going to do here is I'm getting out my Excel calculator. And what I'm going to do is, if you notice at the top, it says simple interest. Right now, we're talking about simple interest, so this is what I want to use. So we want to find the account balance after 6 months. So I want to determine the final amount. So I'm going to go right here to line 9. So our principal amount is $2,750. The rate is 3.5, and time is going to be 6 divided by 12. So when I do this, I get a final amount of $2,798.13. So now let's look at question number 2. It says Laura deposits $700 in an account that earns 4% interest. After 9 months, the account balance is $721. So let's check this out. So what I want to do is determine the final amount. So I start with $700. My rate is 4%, and the time is 9 months. I'm going to do 9 divided by 12. This right here gives me $721, which is correct. So on our next one here, how can the interest rate be determined from the graph? Well, if you notice, I have a starting point of 800. I've also got time in years. So if I pull up my calculator, what I'm going to do is find the one under simple interest that says determining interest rate. So let me pull this up. So A is our final amount. If you notice, at 5 years, we have $900 in the account. The principal amount was $800. That's because that's where our Y-intercept is in this graph. Time is 5 years. Therefore, our interest rate is right here, 2.5%. So looking at our next one, Ken deposited $5,000 in a savings account that pays 2.1% annual simple interest. How long will it take until the account balance is $5,630? So I'm going to go to my calculator, and I want to determine time. We want to know how long it's going to take. So what I'm going to do is put in my initial amount, which is the $5,000. My rate is 2.1, and we want it to equal $5,630. So this tells me it's going to take me 6 years. T is 6, so 6 years to earn $5,630. On this one right here, we've got Daniela who deposits $7,250 in a savings account 8 years ago. The account earned simple annual interest. Today, she has $8,178 in the account. What was the annual interest rate? So in order to find the annual interest rate, I'm still under simple interest, and I want to find the one that says determining interest rate right here. So my final amount was $8,178. I started out with $7,250, and the time was 8 years. Therefore, my interest rate is 1.6%. So here, Jennifer deposited $12,300 in a savings account, paying 2.4% simple annual interest. She now has $16,728 in the account. How many years ago was the deposit made? So on this one, we're looking for time. So I'm going to go up here to find the one that says determine time. So the original amount was $12,300. The rate was 2.4, and the final amount is $16,728. That tells me she's had this account for 15 years. My next one here, I have Jerry, who deposits $350 in a savings account that pays 3.125% interest. How much interest will Jerry earn after 4 years? So I want to go and figure out the final amount. So my principal amount is $350, my rate is 3.125, and my time is 4 years. So after 4 years, she has $393.75 in her account. But we want to know how much interest. So I have to subtract the original amount. So $393.75 minus $350 is going to make that $43.75. Now, guys, if you have any questions over this or you need help, please make sure and reach out to me. Thank you.